Bethesda spent many years sitting as one of the golden game developers. They released game after game that were Game of the Year contenders, from Oblivion to Fallout 3 to Skyrim and arguably even Fallout 4, even if the sheen had started to wear by then. They had become synonymous with their own specific type of open-world game that emphasized player choice and role-playing through exploration. Oblivion sucked you in immediately when you exited the sewers and realized, wait, I can just go? What's over there? Oh my god, there's a unicorn and a minotaur and I'm immediately dead. The same applies with leaving the vault in Fallout. Skyrim has an added cinematic flair with dragons. There was such a sense of wonder, because the possibilities seemed endless. If you didn't know what to do, just wander and something will materialize and draw you in. So what happened? And with that, why did Bethesda lose its way? And how did Cyberpunk take that formula and evolve and modernize it? So first, I think it's important to explore what made the classic Bethesda game work so well. They didn't have the best combat or the best stories, but pretty much everyone agrees that they're some of their favorite games. They convey a feeling of being an explorer and discovering things organically. And some of the best times in these games come outside of the main story or the expected beats of the game. I once followed the Forsworn in Skyrim after completing a mission because they took off running, and I just followed them across an absurd amount of space, and most of them casually died to cliff falls or bears or everything in the environment, while the game's programming continually told them just to sprint. Or when you stumble upon the Deathclaw Sanctuary in Fallout 3, you have this instant sense of dread and excitement and wondering what kind of loot you're going to find or if you'll live. Or stumbling upon the alien crash site and wondering if you're playing the right game in a good way. Humans are curious creatures by nature. We long and desire to explore, to figure out the world around us. And we'll keep coming back to it if there's a reason to. Skyrim succeeds because it always gives you a reason to explore and look for something new. Or to explore things that you've done before, but look at it in a different way. Or curiosity takes you to a place of wondering what types of shenanigans you can get into or force the adoring fan to get into. There are plenty of other reasons why these games were fun in general. They had the right type of jank. When I figured out I could jump out of the map in Oblivion if my acrobatics were high enough, I showed all my friends. I would watch YouTube compilations of ridiculous bugs and glitches. And on top of that, they also have, some truly unique quests with blowing up Megaton or the And Then There Were None style quest in the Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion. But the widespread appeal of these games is one of discovery, exploration, wonder. The unknown parts of these games was always appealing because the game always delivered on that feeling. So where did Bethesda lose their way? Now, Starfield is a good game and it's fun, and this is not a video that's bashing Starfield. But it brings about some of the issues with the modern development of Bethesda games, and definitely leaves some meat on the bone for the game it could be. The exploration in Starfield is very meh. Some of the cities leave a lot to be desired and are frankly boring at times, like New Atlantis. But that's not really the main concern with exploration. The planets are where the main concern is. Now, there are definitely some fun planets and plenty of duds. And the main issue isn't even the quality, it's that Starfield's exploration takes away the bread and butter from previous Bethesda games, which is that you have a quest or destination and you get completely sidetracked along the way. My very first save file of Oblivion, I just never went to Kvatch, and I became head of the Dark Brotherhood and the champion of the arena and the Grey Fox, etc. I originally planned on it, but I just kept finding something interesting, or curiosity brought me somewhere. That feeling that you need to go check this space out, or what if I just walk towards that mountain, is something that is difficult to quantify. And Starfield definitely has better movement and improved systems, but is lacking in that feeling you get, that you're not sure what is there or what is going to happen in a good way. And this isn't a nostalgic feeling, as one game released in the 2020s seems to have mastered and evolved that feeling. Cyberpunk. The old Bethesda model is like watching the best procedural or your favorite comfort show that is arguably your favorite show ever, but can also kind of be played in the background or watched on autopilot. And that's not a diss either. Think how many people would say their favorite show is something like The Office or Friends or Schitt's Creek. And now the games are very much different in how Skyrim makes you want to explore due to the unknown or unexpected, while Cyberpunk makes you want to explore because this world is fully realized and feels truly lived in. Night City is one of the best locations for any open world game, period. It is buzzing with life. The day-night cycles actually matter with everything that's going on and how different the city can feel at different times of the day. Cyberpunk has all sorts of interesting quests, both main, side, gigs that all draw you in, but it also nails that old Bethesda feeling of getting lost doing random things in the game. That old formula is here and still sucks you in. Now, I'm so sad I didn't have this recorded, but I was running and I jumped off an exit ramp and fell like 100 feet, and as I landed, there was this man preaching about how he fell from the sky, and I genuinely started laughing as I was playing because I was like, there's no way this is scripted or how this could actually match up together. There are so many organic examples of this throughout the game that are also built into the game design to keep you exploring. Literally, gigs do this throughout the game, and you get this little ping on your phone like, hey, maybe check this out and see what happens. Or this lady is crying at the end of this pier, I wonder why. You just hear some random gunshots or noise and need to investigate. I'm in the Badlands cruising, and I bet this would be a sick view up the hill. Cyberpunk nails the old formula, and it involves it, even more so through its environmental storytelling. This makes you search and pay attention to each unique thing you see in the world. And this is evident even when talking to different characters in the game, with them describing Night City like its own living and breathing person. And Night City tells the player all you need to know about the state of society and compels you to dig into every corner and find out everything about it. Night City is beautiful. The game even makes different signage or art matter. Take Lizzie's Bar, for example. Now, when we look at Lizzie's Bar from the signage and art outside, the sign is designed around this woman holding an axe. And the art itself, is set up with this woman holding an axe and everybody kind of rallying around them. And you only find out later, or from digging deeper into the shards and lore, that the bar was owned by Elizabeth Lizzie Warden, who was a strip club owner and ex-prostitute who treated her workers fairly and defended them from violent clients. And on May 13th, 2067, one of Lizzie's girls was brutally raped and murdered by Tiger Claw's gangsters, and Lizzie avenged her by killing 3 of the assailants with an axe and displayed their bodies in front of her club, proclaiming that the same would happen to anyone else who hurt a prostitute. That same night, Tiger Claws raided and demolished her bar before killing Elizabeth. These actions created an uproar, and her ideological successors commemorated Borden by rebuilding the place, naming it Lizzie's Bar, forming the Mox, which is a game that basically helps protect those who feel threatened and oppressed, especially those who are sex workers, and then littered this art throughout the city. Liz Borden was also the name of someone who was accused of an axe murder in the 1800s in Massachusetts, so it's kind of interesting on that front. And these progressions kind of feel like a more direct approach to environmental storytelling versus the abstract, open-ended story in something like the Souls series or Elden Ring. This evolution of exploration also comes with better storytelling. Where Skyrim and Oblivion succeed is getting lost going to your destination, right? The journey is much more important than the destination, because no one looks back and thinks, Alduin or Mehrunes Dagon, these are the reasons why Skyrim and Oblivion succeed, right? No. But Cyberpunk allows you to explore in that same way with getting sidetracked to your destination. But because of the appeal of the story and the characters, you still feel compelled to reach that destination. The destination is worth the journey in Cyberpunk, and the journey is more important than the destination in the old Bethesda model. You move to the next mission and journey through the city because Takamura is an interesting character. You go back to the Coyote because you care about Jackie and his memory. A way this is supported is because there are fast travel spots and not automatic fast travel in the game as well. So I drove much more frequently to my destination than other open world games. 1, because I love driving and exploring, and 2, because the game design makes fast travel slightly less convenient. And I know that might bother some people, but I really appreciate it. Why have such a fantastic world if you're not going to drive and journey through it? Cyberpunk also gives you so many reasons to explore. You can actually find legendary and awesome loot just by being curious. The NCPD side quests give you such insight into what is a living and breathing world even without the main character. But this exploring also gives you payoff for things that maybe seem like they were forgotten about, because the game has so much content that they didn't hit every loose end. Or do they, kinda? Take this example from the beginning of the game. When you are riding with Padre on the first mission and you are held up by the 6th Street gang, Padre says that they will pay for it, but then we don't hear anything about it again. He doesn't ask us to take care of them, and we don't get a mission marker explaining what's happening. Instead, we can just happen to find them, and they've been taken care of. And if you search, you'll have their last convo recorded in a shard. Cyberpunk balances its exploration system so well with things that both guide you to new areas, as well as rewarding you for doing things off the beaten path. Now, there are plenty of other reasons why Cyberpunk excels as a game. The story rocks, the characters are real, your choices lead you down unpredictable paths as opposed to pure good or bad. But Cyberpunk really takes the idea of what we imagine a Bethesda game and takes it to the next level. Plus, you can't dance with Pan Am and Starfield. Thank you.
V.